In this diagram, we have two rectangles. One is called as client machine, and another is this one is called as server machine. So both client and server are connected through internet. Server contains website, and we have web client. So web client having browser. So when we install browser in a machine, that machine will become web client. And when we install server software on a machine, so that machine becomes web server. Web server machine contains website. And what is website? Website is the collection of web pages. So when client want to access website from server, or client want to display web page in the browser, so client send a request. Sending request and receiving something from server. So everything will be done by HTTP. So HTTP is nothing but a protocol, and the definition of protocol is nothing but in short you can say protocol is a language of communication. So there is a HTTP request. So the request will be sent for a particular web page from the server. So if server have that particular page, so that page will travel from server and it will be displayed on the browser, client side browser. Okay. And that is called as response. So when server have that particular page, so that page will come from server to client, so that is called as HTTP response. So we are getting response. So this kind of errors are there. Now in this URL, when we write google.com, so here this google.com only is called as name of the server, and the www is nothing but the, you can say, internet. Okay, this is, it represent internet, the whole network, and in whole network you are just searching for, you are looking for google.com. okay, google.com is also known as, means any server name is also known as domain name, like yahoo.com, gmail.com, facebook.com. So these are also called as domain name. So when we are using networks, so in a network, all the machines which are connected, so all the machine having their own address. These address are unique. Now suppose in this particular URL, suppose you find some other website like example.com. Example.com, example.com is the server name. This server name, for example, is example.com server. Okay. Now in this particular server, there are many files. Okay, suppose you have a website, and in the website you have so many pages. So each pages are having some different name. For example, suppose in the website, suppose there are two pages. One page is a.html. Okay, another page is b.html. Suppose there are two pages are there in this website, for example. Okay, so this page is HTML page. Why HTML page? Because whenever you create a web page, so HTML is used, and that particular web page extension is HTML. So this HTML pages are stored there. Now here when you say example.com, this is example.com, this whole server is called as example.com. So when you say example.com, press enter key. So which file will be sent, a.html or b.html? Okay, so it depends. So by default some setting is there, so in that the first file a.html is displayed. So after discussing the whole thing, that means request and response, now we will see how these technologies are there, how many technologies are there. So in that, whenever client want to interact with the server, there is a combination of technologies, and these technologies are called as web technologies. So here in this, first thing is HTML. So HTML has played an important role. Why? Because HTML used to develop web page. So there is a web page, and that web page is nothing but a one sort of code returns, program returns. So that program is stored in the server. So that is HTML file, that is HTML program. So that HTML program is written in HTML language. Okay, so HTML is the basic things. Now, what is the use of HTML? Why we are creating HTML? So HTML is used to develop a web page. Okay, so for example, suppose you add image. Suppose you want to change the background color. Suppose you want to put the videos in the web page, how to create a paragraph, how to create the list. So how to make the alignment kind of thing, like header, footer, these things, table. So suppose you want to display the table. So these things will be created with the help of HTML. So HTML have this kind of facility. It is used to develop the web page. Now once your page is developed, so this page can be stored in the server machine, like a website, and that page can be accessible by the browser. So browser can display the HTML page. So this is the basic technology. Now next is CSS. CSS is used to create the layout. Suppose you want to make the proper design, a good layout. You want to create a header, footer. There is a left pane, right pane. There is some kind of special button, image as a button, or suppose you want some rounded corner type of rectangle, some special feature or some layout you want to show. Okay, so that CSS can be used. CSS is called as cascading style sheet. So CSS adds more feature to HTML. Yes, if you create a simple HTML page, so that HTML is very plain, nothing is there, nothing some kind of look is there. Look is not very good. So if you want to make it very like interactive or good looking, so that you can use the CSS. You can add CSS. So CSS is written along with the HTML always. Okay, the only CSS, independent CSS is not necessary, not needed. Okay, not any useful. It is always written with HTML. So regarding JavaScript, JavaScript is optional thing. Optional thing means if you are creating page with using only CSS and HTML, so that is enough. Okay, you can develop the whole website with the help of HTML, CSS. That is done. But JavaScript sometimes it is needed because suppose you want some kind of coding programming thing. Programming means some logical part. Suppose you want to compare your username with the existing username, or suppose you want to display calendar. Suppose you want to process the form data like email address, username, password. Suppose you want to process this kind of data. So for this processing thing, JavaScript is there. So JavaScript contains some kind of data type, their looping structure, condition structure, like if else, like a C programming language, C++ programming language. JavaScript have their own syntax. So JavaScript can be used to add the programming part, programming thing, like logical things to the web page. Okay, so there is a separate unit in JavaScript, so in that we will discuss these things. Then in the client side, these things are there. So whenever you say it, that HTML, CSS, JavaScript, so that is client side. Now how we say that this is client side? What is the meaning of client side? So the meaning of client side is these three technologies, whatever I have written. Apart from these three, there are so many technologies, but these things, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, are interpreted by the browser. Okay, the HTML, CSS, HTML, JavaScript is not any use for servers. There is no use of HTML in the server. HTML is, here you have stored a.html in the server, but a.html is not executed by the server. It remains stored. Okay, a.html, b.html, whatever HTML is there, whatever CSS is there, whatever JavaScript is there, all these files remain as it is. Okay, suppose you have a.html, suppose you have p.css. Okay, suppose you have x.js. JS is the extension for JavaScript file. So suppose you have JavaScript file, suppose you have CSS file. Okay, suppose you have HTML file. So all these files are not executed in the server. It remains stored only. Okay, so what happens whenever you send request for any particular file like b.html, okay, for example. So b.html will it's there in the server. Okay, b.html is there in the server, so it will not execute it on the server. The whole b.html will come to the browser, and browser will display b.html. So whatever coding you have written, that coding will be interpreted by the browser. Okay, so browser will display b.html. So this kind of technology is called as client side. So that's why it is called as client side technology. Whatever is there, CSS there, CSS will not be understood by the server. So these things will work in client side only. It is there in the website. So website have this kind of extension. Website have also have some images like c.jpg. Okay, website have image file also. Okay, website have some sound file also like as.wav. Website have some video files also. So this kind of extension. So these files are not executed on the server. Server cannot execute this kind of file. So that's why here HTML, CSS, JavaScript, whatever we say, so these files are interpreted by the browser. Yeah. So now let us see the server-side technology. So what is the meaning of server-side technology? So server-side technology is nothing but some kind of processing done by server, like matching your username and password with database. So here I will take one example in how you create Facebook account. First, if you want to create a Facebook account, so you have to enter some of your information like your name and whatever you set the password. Okay, initially you have to set the password. So these information, your name, password, are sent to the Facebook server. Okay, the Facebook server have their own database. Okay, so one more thing comes here, that is with the server. Okay, so your Apache, suppose server name is Apache and you are also having database. So database is also one of the software. So what happens when you create your login? जब हम sign up करते हैं, when you sign up, okay, so there are millions of users are created in the Facebook database. So there is a database. So in the database, all the user accounts are stored, all the user information are stored. If it is Facebook server, so Facebook user information is stored. If it is Google server, so Google Gmail users accounts are stored, informations are stored. So Gmail have their own database, Facebook have their own database. So if they have database, so they are using some kind of software. So these softwares are like this: MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, Sybase. So these are the different database software names. So this software manages the data. Okay, it helps to find out any particular data from the database, because database is very big. There are millions of informations are stored. So it is very difficult to search anything. So it helps. This software helps to search any user. This software manages the database. Like this software sort according to name. This software sort according to password. This kind of sorting can also be done. So the management kind of software is also there. So all this software, whether it is MySQL, whether it is Oracle, this software runs on the server. So all this data are stored in a server. So there is a software which manages all this data. So now suppose you have your Facebook account, so or your username and password, Facebook username and password stored in the database. Okay, for example. Now suppose again you are logging, you try to log in to Facebook, you open the Facebook home page, then you try to log in again, for example. So in that what happens? You have to send the request. So with the help of request, your username and password will also be sent. Okay. So what happens in server? Your username and password will be matched with the existing username and password, so that the database will find out whether you are an existing user or not. If you are an existing user, then it is okay. So now there is a program, there is some kind of program is also written. This program joins, that is, this program is like an interface through the user, that is through the client and database. So between client and database, there is another software. Okay, so here I will draw one more diagram. Okay, so here suppose this is that particular program. This program will run. This program will execute. When this program will execute, when you log in Facebook login, and when you enter your username and password from client, okay, so this program will execute. So this program will, what this program will do? This program send your username and password to the database. Okay, so this database, in the database, your username and password will be searched, and if it is okay, then this program will say you are an authenticated user or you are not an authenticated user. So in the program, the searching, that means this program, your username and password will be processed. So whatever data get from the client, so all the data are fetched, okay, from the client. So this all the data are processed by this program. So there is a program is needed. So this program is stored in the server, and this program take helps of database. How to write that program? Which language you use to write that program? That particular technology is called as server-side technology. So when you write to this kind of program which runs on only on the server, so that type of technology is called as server-side technology. So there is a PHP. Okay, so this particular program is PHP program. So suppose you want to process your data, your client data, you want to process in the server side. So there is a PHP program. So you have to run the PHP program. Okay. So PHP program execute on server side. So combination of HTML, CSS, JavaScript and PHP, the complete website is written. Now suppose you want to create a website with the help of HTML, CSS only. So that is also possible. But here what happens, that kind of website is called a static website. So here we divide our website in two parts. So number one is static web page, and second one is dynamic web page. So there are two types of web page you can say. So what is static web page? Static web page is the web page. Every time you access the web page, every time you open the web page, all the informations are same, nothing changed. So that kind of web page is called a static web page. Okay, every time you open the page. For example, there is a tutorial website, and in tutorial website, every time you open the same information there, the informations are not changing dynamically. Now, what is dynamic web page? Dynamic web page are the web pages which changes their information every time you open. For example, yahoo.com. So when you open yahoo.com, every time you see some different news are there, images are changing. Okay, date and time, it always display the current date and time, always display them on other videos. So this kind of page is called as dynamic web page. So suppose you want to create only static web page, only static website, only HTML, CSS is enough. But if you want to create dynamic website, some dynamic features you want to add, so you can take help of JavaScript. You can take help of any one of the server-side technology. So PHP is the language, programming language, which runs on server side, and it is used to create dynamic web page.